There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Oh, what's up? Welcome into episode number 136 of the Program Guys podcast. My name is Mason Prince. Joined with you as always by Patrick Hertzberger, Ryan Tyson, Mark Hall, Matt Gann. All five of the boys back in business. Please like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can find us on all of our social media at Program Guys with a Z. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of that good stuff. We got five guys here. We got 5 stars to talk about.
Oh.
Boys.
Oh.
Boys.
Wow.
The haters, of which there are many, are
Mm.
quite disgusted right now.
Where they at?
They're quite upset.
Tell us why.
I don't hear them anymore.
They're upset because Michael Fasusi, 5-star offensive tackle,
Tell me that.
depending on who you ask, arguably the best at his position in the entire country.
People are saying.
Top 5 at his position for any recruiting database you look at.
Huge.
The kid committed to the Oklahoma Sooners today at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Right, over the Longhorn to the
Over
Aggies,
who?
baby.
Tell him, Matt Cam.
Tell him, Matt.
This guy is massive. This is probably, and I think, Mark, you said this earlier, and I think I agree, probably one of the biggest offensive lineman recruits that OU has had.
Isn't
in
he
quite
the
some time.
biggest?
Well, according to 247, 6'5", 295.
Oh,
I mean,
I meant
no,
like
yeah.
5-star.
But yes,
I meant,
also
like
that
it's the
also
biggest
very well.
recruitment win along the offensive line that I think Bill's had since my time following the team. Like he has just been, it's always been 3 and 4 stars that he makes into something special. And Michael Fasusi, I mean, my goodness, there's a picture of him with Daniel Akinkumi, and who was his host while he was visiting OU. And Fasusi looks bigger than Daniel does. And come on, man, this dude's not even on campus yet. He doesn't even have access to the gym, to Schmitty, to any of this. 6'5", 295, like Matt said, 5-star consensus. He's the joke, the thing that the haters Mason referred to earlier are saying now is that he was pitched on playing time that other schools can't offer him. Man, looking at him, that's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna pitch that to this guy every day of the week. So very glad that he landed in Oklahoma.
And you want to know something that kind of adds to this, and I'm definitely not here to tell you that this is why he committed, but it's quite interesting that the day before he commits, I think it was Pro Football Focus or Pro Football Talk dropped the top 2 offensive linemen or offensive tackles in the NFL preseason so far. Walter Rouse, Tyler Guyton. Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Not an accident.
I am not saying that that's why he committed, but Mark talked about playing time, and you can do it. You can do it at Oklahoma. They're not going to be afraid to play that guy. Ryan, hop in there.
I mean, I think the big question, obviously everyone is incredibly excited, including me, about this guy. I mean, we've talked about his size. We've talked about his almost ability to just be a starter. I do think the one thing I'm very interested to see, and again, not to put throw a blanket on this at all, is can Bill develop somebody of this talent? Because in the past, we've always just given Bill so much credit that he's able to take these 3-star offensive linemen and turn them into superstars in the NFL. We talk about that often with the salaries and everything that we're seeing in the NFL. But can he take somebody who is already just filled with talent and has been told the past couple years of his life that he's the best out there? Can he take that and make him the best and make him even better? I think he can. I think he's best offensive lineman coach around. So I'm excited to see what he's able to do with this talent. But this is not something that we've seen a lot. and which is really surprising considering how good our offensive line has been in years past. So overall, super, super thrilled, but really excited to also see how Bill develops this guy.
Pat, I want you to jump in there. Go.
Yeah, anyone talking about playing time too doesn't understand how talented our freshman offensive linemen currently are as too. Like, we have a very talented class. He's going to have to compete for playing time, even though he is that beast of a 5-star. Secondly, it just feels really good to beat out Texas and Texas A&M for a Texas recruit. Oklahoma recruiting is on fire, and they're the ones that better watch out, not us.
Come in your trap, take over your trap, Mark.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
that was
I
my
agree.
my way.
I
was it,
agree.
Mark?
I spoke on I spoke
Okay.
on him a bit earlier. I said when he landed on a top 3 that I was worried we would come in third. So I've never been at the forefront of the Fasusi recruitment, but to your point, man, Texas, there are like 5. It's the top 5 players in the country according to, I believe, 247. I saw a screenshot of this, and that's just in the state of Texas, and Texas didn't lock any of them down. A&M didn't lock any of them down. But to your point, Mason, Oklahoma's coming into the trap. Alabama's coming into the trap. Oregon's coming into the trap. Ohio State's coming into the trap. And we are taking your guys. That is super duper encouraging. When you consider that the traditional thinking, the conventional wisdom there is, we are bringing much smaller bags than Texas and A&M are. I don't think that's really the case, but people want to call you Oklahoma. Well, we just won over 2 of the richest schools in the country. So tell me something else.
Didn't we also announce that this past year was like the largest donation year we've ever had in history?
Something
So
like
like
110
yeah,
million.
I
Ticket
mean,
price is still going up though.
like Texas and Texas A&M are always going to have more money than we are. That's a fact.
Yeah.
However, we are busting out the iron truck or whatever we call it, Iron Bank.
Brinks truck. The
Brinks truck. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Iron Bank just made me think of Game of Thrones.
Iron Bank.
Just coming in with the Brinks truck, I think that's actually like for sure happening, but it's also nice that we're selling something more than just that.
As of now, I'm looking at 247, and maybe you guys can pull up the other ones as I look at it. Number 8 overall class as it stands right now, with Michael Fasusi included in that 2025 class. Another offensive tackle, Ryan Foje, is committed as well. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, I've just got all of the rankings. Shout
you.
out
Please
to,
do.
unfortunately, another Oklahoma podcast whose Twitter account was really on the ball today. The Mainline podcast. Shout out to those guys.
Shout out.
From 247, we moved from 11th to 8th in the country. On 3, we go from 15th to 11th, and Rivals, we go from 9th to 5th. With the
I do not
5-star Michael Fasusi.
understand. I don't get it. It's all stupid. It's
at some point, like, it's just dudes within tiers, right?
Yeah.
And at this point, we're in a high level tier. It's good.
There's a difference between 5 and 11, though. Like, that's pretty
Agreed.
significant.
Agreed.
It's just quite funny I just have a couple things I want to hit on. Number one, the haters of which I mentioned, Colin Cowherd being one of them.
They're back.
Because just a couple of days ago, had some very choice words to say about Oklahoma becoming the new Nebraska. And if you recall, on this podcast a couple of years ago, we had Dari Noka on this show.
Sure did.
Dari Noka of the SEC Network, OU alum. And we talked to Dari about OU's transition to the SEC and why it would be different from Nebraska. And if you want, go back and watch that episode. Go back and watch that interview posted on our YouTube channel. Dari had some great things to say. And Dari's main point was Nebraska disconnected themselves from their recruiting base, their recruiting pipeline. And Oklahoma did not do that. Oklahoma has stayed with it, and this Fasusi commitment is just another example of that. So Colin Cowherd, once again, shockingly, I know, has no idea what he's talking about. And number 2, Ryan made the point about how we haven't seen Bill kind of develop those guys that are highly rated. I completely agree, Ryan. We haven't seen that yet. But one guy we did see, Caden Green, was on that track.
Yes.
He was until he chased the bag. No disrespect. Got to do what you got to do.
Disrespect.
But I think
Caden Green,
I think
guard.
we can see. Guard. I think we can see that Bill, if given the right guys in place, can elevate them more. So Walter Rouse came to Oklahoma not even sniffing a draft pick, not even sniffing, and now he's one of the highest rated offensive tackles in preseason.
But that's what I'm saying. Bill has never had a problem taking
Agreed.
somebody who
Agreed.
maybe has the physical stature to do this, but maybe not like the full talent level,
I'm with you.
and be able to turn it around, right? This is not really the same case, though. I think the Caden Green comp is the closest that we've gotten,
Sure.
at least recently. But yeah, I
Sure.
have all the faith in the world in Bill B. So
Yeah. Matt, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I'm going to dive a little deeper into Michael Fasusi because I don't think we give enough credit to who this guy is. So this is from Gabe Brooks on the 247 website, just giving a quick scouting report. I won't read it all, but just some things that pop out to me. Gifted O lineman with true bookend tackle potential. So he does play left tackle. He plays both, but mainly left tackle. Possesses excellent physical tools and promising athletic context, both in track and field. He is a multi-sport athlete in discus and shot put as well. So he's got incredible strength, wears mass well, and owns space to add more bulk. We always love guys who can continue to add to their already big frame. Shows foot quickness and agility to live on an island in pass protection, and nimbleness translate in the movement ability in the run game. I saw some quick highlights of his junior season. Man, he gets out on the second level on these linebackers. Exactly what the analysis and the scouting report's saying. He is big, he's physical, and man, this guy's going to be a bookend and left tackle just to solidify that line and that blind side. I mean, this is everything that you want. And the second point I want to bring up is Bill B has quite the track record. I have no hesitation that Bill B is going to make this guy exactly who he needs to be. If you think about his track record with Tyler Guyton, Creed, Walter, Cody Ford, Ben Powers, Chris Murray, Wanya Morris, Ram, Anton Harrison, Orlando Bloom. I can continue.
Orlando Brown, not Bloom, not Pirates of the Caribbean. You're fine. You're
Count
right.
it.
Go ahead.
Nope.
Count it.
Just
Count
making
it.
sure we were paying
He
attention.
plays with a bow.
And also the success that he's had in the transfer portal. I mean, we just don't give Bill B enough credit for what he has done for this offensive line. Everyone feels after the Joe Moore Award, it's dipped down. I just don't see that being the case with all the 1,000-yard rushers that OU has cranked out in that time frame. So I have no hesitation in his ability to continue to produce and mold these guys the way he wants. Having this guy come into the building, playing your left tackle position, man, it's going to be awesome to see. I can't wait.
Go ahead, Mark. Mark,
Oh,
did you have
no,
something to add? Okay. Sorry. It looked like
I
you
was
wanted to
good on
jump in. That's
How
2
many-
for 2 on
there's
Mason
some
trying to set
tough
Mark up and just getting
transitions
absolutely
going on
good.
between
God
Mason and
down.
Mark.
getting
Not-
absolutely
not
road
great
dog.
job
there.
Absolutely road dog like Michael Fasusi on a freaking crackback block. Okay. One more point. Ryan Foje, the guy I mentioned earlier, he's according to 247 when I'm looking right now, he is a top 10 tackle as well, committed to Oklahoma in February. Bill B stays working. Devil works hard. Bill Beanball works harder. So really, really massive win today. Let us know down below in the comments what you think of the Michael Fasusi commitment. What does this mean for Oklahoma as it stands right now? And guys, that's a 5-star commitment on the offensive side of the ball. We talk a lot about Brent Venables and how this defense is being reshaped, and that's a 5-star commit on the offensive side of the
Good
ball. That's
point.
huge. That's massive.
On
First since
also
Joe
on Bill
Mixon?
B's birthday. Shout out to
Yes.
him.
Also
Happy
on Bill
birthday,
Beanball's
Bill B.
birthday.
What a
Go
gift.
ahead. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I guess Spencer Rattler was a 5-star and Caleb Williams
He
was
was.
a 5-star.
He was.
Okay.
Mhm.
Non-quarterback, though, would be the first offensive player since Joe Mixon, I think.
Yeah, I think you're correct. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yes, Dorial Green.
Did we have a
Beckham
did
came
we-
around.
did we have a we had a wide receiver.
Oh, all the wide receivers,
Yeah,
dude. I'm just like,
Oh
talking.
yeah,
I'm just like talking over here. None of those guys worked out, so
yeah, none
that's
of them worked out.
that's on
NBD.
me for forgetting them.
That's weird. Who recruited those guys? Anyway, so what
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about now is we're gonna do some record predictions since we're getting so close to the season. Oh my gosh, week 0 this weekend. Going to be a lot of fun. Be sure to check that out. I see Baker and Patrick's screen. Just he's buzzed out, but you can see him. Okay, so some record predictions for this year. Oklahoma's first year in the SEC. I want to know kind of where we're all at. Just a recap of what we had at the end of the year. So back in January, I want to say.
Yeah, after the
I
I
bowl
think it was
game.
January.
After the bowl game.
Man,
After the
It's
bowl
tough.
game. Patrick had us at 10-2. I said 9-3. Mark at 11-1. Ryan at 8-4, and Matt, took the week off. So,
oh, that's crazy. Matt texted me. He said he thought we were going to go 3-9. Actually, Matt, can you confirm that one for the boys?
I cannot confirm nor deny, but I'd be more than happy to give my predictions when we get to that portion.
perfect. Love that. Okay.
Good for us.
So,
We're about at that
Great
position.
legal jargon.
yeah. So
Keep that
Matt,
going,
let's go ahead and lead it off then. Let me know.
Great.
Let the people know what we should expect from the Oklahoma Sooners this year in terms of a record. Go ahead.
First year in the SEC, we got drawn with a very, very tough schedule. Let's just not even joke about it. We have one of the toughest schedules in the entire country, especially going on the road to LSU, to Ole Miss, even Auburn. I mean, I'm just looking at these games here because I have them pulled up. I think I would say the floor and what I'm optimistic and setting a nice expectation, I think 8-4. 8-4 for me. I think
What are the L's?
Yeah, I think the losses are going to be Texas, Ole Miss, LSU, and then split between Alabama and Missouri, one of those games. That's who I think. Really the back half of the schedule. I think we split really the SEC schedule. We could even go further, but I think 8-4 would be a solid record, especially playing the SEC schedule. It's really going to be relying on Jackson Arnold. He's going to take us as far as that arm can go. I have a lot of faith in the defense and the offensive line. It's just Jackson Arnold. Can he get going against those SEC defenses? That's what I have to see, but 8-4 is what I'm going with.
Patrick, go ahead.
It's weird because if all of our wheels are turning, I really see us going through the season with only 1 or 2 losses. However, it's just a lot to expect all the wheels to be turning from the beginning of the season. I think we're going to be one of the better teams in the SEC this year, but just because of the rough schedule, everyone's going to be knocking on each other. I'm going to go 9-3 for the Oklahoma Sooners this season.
What are the L's, Pat?
What are the L's, Pat?
Look, we beat Texas more than we don't. I don't understand why most years you guys say we're going to lose to Texas.
It's a toss-up.
So
It's
that's
50-50,
a dub.
guys.
That's
I
a
mean,
dub for
overall, the record is better than ours.
overall, but I'm talking
Yeah,
recently.
you got to go back to World War II.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
We got burnt orange tea
You
over
just-
here.
yeah,
I'm just
Burnt
saying.
orange tea.
Gosh,
I don't
Stati-
understand what Austin T's up to.
Yep.
Statistics here. That's all I'm saying.
So,
T.
historically speaking, the game, like the last 10 to 15 years, has been decided by 1 score or less. So either one, it could go. We just have been the benefactor of winning a majority of those games.
Some
I
might
always
say
Yeah,
think
better
that's
team.
and that's why
Texas.
we got screwed on our schedule. So
Yeah,
Anyways.
some might say the better team, right? Like
Right.
when
Right,
you're
right.
the benefactor of like a single digit game, you're usually
You're the better team. Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Patrick,
I'm just making sure.
Who are your
you know,
losses?
It's super
Patrick.
tough. I honestly don't
Okay,
know. If I had
Tennessee,
to
let's
pick
get it out of the
3.
way. We're going to
You-
lose to Tennessee, right,
you
Pat?
you have
No,
to do
I
it.
think we beat Tennessee. I think we maybe drop to Auburn because we're on the high from the Tennessee, similar to being on a high against Texas. I think I'll put in Alabama, and then I hate to do this, but I'll put in LSU too. That just makes sense to me.
Okay.
Okay.
I said 9-3 at the end of the year last year. I think that's kind of where I'm going to stick. I've had people been asking me the last couple of days, kind of where I see it. I think you can go to the low end. I think you can go 8-4 and 7-5 if you want to be a doomsday scenario. I can understand that as well. But I really think this is a 9-3 football team, and anyone looking to make the SEC excuse, miss me with that. This is a grown man football team. You have grown men on this team. You have talent all over the field. You can match up with about anybody. And Matt's right. It's going to be a lot on Jackson Arnold, and I completely agree with that. But I think the good news for Oklahoma is you start the year Temple, Houston, Tulane. And I think those 3 games are going to give Jackson Arnold what he needs to be really composed and ready to go. Brent Venables made a fantastic point earlier this week when he had his press availability. And he said, I thought Jackson did a great job in the one game that he started as the Oklahoma quarterback where we had 500 yards of offense and he threw for over 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. People forget
That's
that.
the shit I've been saying about that game.
Yes.
The picks
You
were
have.
there. The
You have.
picks were there, but Jackson did not look bad. He just had some dumb throws. Go Pat.
Go
I
back.
rewatched that game this weekend because
Oh,
I needed
yeah,
to
you
feel
did.
something.
Yeah.
That's right.
Jackson went when Gavin went. When Gavin could run the rock, Jackson played significantly better.
Oh,
I
interesting.
believe Jackson goes when Gavin goes, not really
Good to know.
necessarily the other way around.
Good to know. Something to be on the lookout for. So 9-3, as we said, that's what I think. I'd love to say 10-2. I would like to be pleasantly surprised at 10-2, but I think 9-3 is realistic. And if we are less than 9-3, I will be upset. I will be, because I think your losses. I don't think you lose to Texas. I think you lose to Ole Miss on the road. I think you lose, and I think you have those last 2 games that are tough. I think you lose Alabama, and I think you lose LSU on the road to end the season. I think that's what you do, because I think you start off hot and you run through Texas, run through South Carolina, and you get to Ole Miss kind of riding high, and then that's kind of your real first SEC road test, and you kind of get hit in the mouth. That's what I think happens. Now, can I see maybe you win that Ole Miss game and instead I don't think they drop the Tennessee game, but do you lose the Missouri game? That's another tough road game. I think that could be one you trade in and out, but anything less than 9-3, in my opinion, should be unacceptable. And I think it will be. I don't think OU is going to be looking for excuses to shrug off an 8-4 season. I think they're going to do everything they can to be in the hunt at the end of the year, fighting for a spot in the SEC title game. But I think that's tough because I think they're going to drop the last 2 against Alabama and LSU.
I've got kind of a weird one, I think. So I'm gonna go 10-2. What can I do? I'm a sucker. Matt's thing goes without saying. I think Jackson Arnold is sort of the X factor, right? If it doesn't happen with Jackson, then it's not going to happen this season. But why would we be a podcast that wants to dwell on that future? That's silly and not fun and dumb. So I'm gonna go 10-2. And I think one game that we're sort of overlooking is, sorry, I had the schedule up, is the Auburn game. So Oklahoma starts the season with 4 straight games at home.
Yep.
Tennessee is our first SEC game, but they're coming to Norman. Going to Auburn, Alabama is going to be a brand new experience for these guys. Mm-hmm. And Auburn is not like, Auburn's unranked. So this would be an upset if this happens, but I think the atmosphere is going to be a lot for Jackson Arnold, whose last away game came in San Antonio, right? Like, wait, that's not the right bowl game. Alamo Bowl?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Nice. Okay.
You're
last away game came in his home state, man. His next away game is going to be in Alabama. I think that that's going to play a factor, and we should be ready for that game to trip us up. Next one, I think we lose 3 weeks later in Ole Miss. I think that Lane Kiffin just brings out that offense and throws the ball all over the yard, and the transfers come through on the defensive side, and it's our next away game after that Auburn game. I just think that it's going to take time to get to that point. Those are the growing pains, is the away games against SEC teams. But I'm a little different than you guys. I think the team gets stronger towards the end of the season, and we see things round into shape, mostly because we finally have the competitive depth that Brent has been harping on since day one. There's guys, we talked about it with the linebackers last week. There's guy after guy after guy after guy that we're now comfortable throwing out there in depth situations when you got to get Danny a breather. There's guys at receiver. There's guys at running back. The lines are still question marks, but I'm going to count on the talent and the talent development there. So 10-2, losses against Auburn, losses against Ole Miss. Bang.
That is bold.
I like that a
what
lot.
I'm
I
here
like that
for.
thought process a lot, getting better towards the end of the year and getting more shaken up at the beginning of the year during our first away games. I like that a
LSU
lot.
back-to-back.
Some of the competitive depth stuff that Mark, you made a good point about that, but I saw a tweet today. I think that if Oklahoma gets a 2025 top 10 class, after the Fasusi commitment, they're a top 10 recruiting class as it stands right now to most of the metrics. If they get that 2025 class is a top 10 class, that's their 4th straight top 10 class. That's 4 straight.
Impressive.
That's how you build competitive depth. That's how Alabama and Georgia stay so good year after. Now they're top 5 classes. Let's get that straight. Okay,
It took them a while to get there.
You're right.
So-
Completely correct. But I'm just trying to make Mark's point for him. They have the bodies and they have the skill guys there. It's really just about getting that development going. And those first 3 games are going to be so important in my eye, because playing those young guys and getting them some experience is going to be so valuable down the line. When Mark talked about when you get to the end of the season and you're playing real football, because you're going to have injuries and you're going to need guys to step up who didn't really play all year. And it's going to be important those first 3 games, I think, to get those guys some reps so they'll be ready to go.
So I think I'm last.
I think you are.
Correct.
And if
Save the best for
anyone
last.
and if anyone knows me, which you guys do, but the listeners, they probably have learned to
They
know
do.
me over the last 2.5 years.
I think so.
You will know that I am the most doom and gloom out of all 5 of
Yeah.
us.
No.
So
Give it to me, 7 and 5.
I
Give it to
said
me.
8-4.
Okay.
No,
That's
no,
fine.
not doom
I-
and
no,
gloom.
Hold on. I said 8-4 in January. This is before I knew our schedule.
Here we go.
I am saying 7-5.
There it is.
And I am
Bang.
saying 7-5 because I hope to God I'm wrong. I really do.
Of course you do.
But
Who would want to be right more than who would want to be right more than see the team succeed? Sorry, Ryan. Go
Yo,
ahead.
this
Yeah.
is no. I understand that this is a very different team this year, or we haven't seen it yet, but we're expecting this to be a very different team than we've had the past couple years, a lot better team. But I keep going back to the fact that this team went 6-6 2 years ago, and I know there was a lot of new things going on, brand new coach, so many different things happening, but that was against a pretty easy Big 12 schedule. And this is one of the hardest schedules in the entire country that we have this year. This is the very first year of us playing in the SEC, the hardest conference in the entire country. This is the first year of a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator. This is the first year of a quarterback, a young quarterback who has not been fully tested. I think when you include all of that stuff together, I think this is a very, very hard schedule, and we're going to get punched in the mouth a little bit. So my prediction is 7-5, and my losses are at Auburn. I completely agree with Mark.
Good call by Mark.
I think that that is one of the hardest places to play in the country. I don't care if they're not ranked. I don't care if they are quote unquote bad. That's going to be a hard place to play. I think it's Texas. I think they'll get us back for last year. I think it is at Ole Miss. I think that's something that we all agree on. I think it's going to be Alabama, and then I think it's going to be LSU. So I'm saying 7-5. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you guys are and like I said, I'm usually pretty pessimistic about things, but there's too many new things going on this year. I think if you give us a few more years, I'll probably be on the 10-2 train.
Few more years, huh?
Part of me feels
Fine.
like this year is gonna be even better than next year, just because of the talent we have in the defensive backs. you know?
It's just there's more stability, I think, next year next year's going to be a hard ass schedule too. But like with just how new it is to go into the SEC, like all these away games, this is going to be a completely brand new environment that I think is going to take more than just a game for us to get used to. And I think that these teams and how good they are, it's not like we're playing them in a bowl game, right? We're playing them in a regular season game. And I don't know. I just have doubts that it's going to be as we're going to step up to the plate in every single capacity year one. That's just my opinion. So,
Okay.
Ryan's the only one of us to take the under on the season win total for the Oklahoma Sooners at
guys,
7.5.
I hope I am wrong.
And I think we can all see what marrying a Baylor grad does to you.
Got him.
Classic.
I've always been negative. I've always been the one who's like, "Oh, we're gonna
Sipping tea
lose."
out here.
Somebody has to be. You know, we can't all
Dude.
drink the Kool-Aid.
When was it,
We
Mark?
could.
When was the OU Texas game that we went to the 28-0 in the first
Oh
quarter?
my god.
Well,
It was and
we
wanted
came
to
back,
leave.
bro.
We can't leave. We're not gonna leave.
It was hot.
Mhm.
I was just like, I want to
Look,
leave.
I will say though, if it is 7-5, that's unacceptable. To not make the
I
playoffs,
don't
in my
think. I
opinion, is
don't think that's.
unacceptable.
I do not think that's unacceptable.
Disagree, Pat.
That's unacceptable.
I don't
think
think
even
we
going
gotta
8
see
it is
how-
is
the
unacceptable.
first year, and it's brand new coordinators. And a brand new quarterback.
Last 3
that's
years,
not-
we've had top 10 recruiting classes. It'd be unacceptable.
I agree. I agree with Patrick. And to Ryan's point, you have two new coordinators. Cry me a river. I mean, if you're a good program, that's going to happen every year. It's going to
I'm
happen
not-
every year. Ask
it's
Kirby
not-
Smart.
But
ask
it's
Nick
not
Saban.
just that. It's the fact that Alabama and Georgia have been playing these schedules for the last 10 years or more
Sure,
than that.
sure, but we
Right.
play
So
one of
my
them.
contention on that is I don't believe Brent Venables is going to let the team get punched in the mouth that way over and over and over again without coaching them up. He's
I don't-
played in hard atmospheres, he's coached in them.
Yeah.
He's coached in national championships. And once these guys, I mean, your argument is the crux of my argument for the season. I just think there's an upward trajectory towards the end after that Ole Miss loss, right?
Yeah.
And I think they rise above where they are in the Ole Miss game by the time we get to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Whereas it seems like you think they just keep taking body shots. Sort of.
Not necessarily. I think that, well, first off, I'm not saying they're going to get blown out in all these games. I don't think they will. Like, I think they'll be close. Like, I think they'll be competitive. I think that Alabama, I think we probably do get better toward the end of the season. I think Alabama is a team that also gets better toward the end of the season. And the talent that they have on that team does outmatch our talent. And the LSU one is strictly because
Questionable.
it's at Death Valley. I think that's a almost impossible place to play. So, yeah.
You won't hear an argument from me there. You won't hear an argument. Let us know down below in the comments your thoughts on the season prediction, wins, losses. We read every single one of your comments. Boys, anything else before we move on with that? Maybe some bold predictions now.
Let's do it.
Bold predictions for the season. We
I-
gave you our record predictions. Now this is a bold prediction.
I can go first. since
Yeah,
I went
Ryan,
last
let's hear
on
it,
the last
baby.
time, yeah.
Hey,
Ryan,
let's hear
go.
our
So
team.
for
Go,
the
baby.
last 2 years on this podcast, I have
Here we
chosen
go.
the same prediction, and it is not come even close to being correct.
That's true.
But this is our
Oh.
year, baby. Third time is the charm.
Third time.
This is our best defensive class, the best defensive team that we've had in over a decade, most likely. Or that's what everyone's saying. You know, that's what we're feeling going into the season. So my bold prediction will be once again that we are going to get 50 sacks across the season. I think we can do it this year. I do. And I think a lot of them are going to come in those first 3 games.
For those keeping score at home, that's a little over 4 sacks a game that Oklahoma would have to average
We can do it.
In the
To-
SEC.
to
We can do it.
to get Ryan's bold prediction. But I like it because that's the whole point. We're being bold here.
We're going to hit this at some point, and
What was- what was-
not giving it up.
What was Matt's bold prediction like last year
God.
or 2
We'll
years
be in
ago?
the-
2 years ago.
Dylan,
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel
Gabriel.
will have a
2-1.
masterful
2-1
touchdown to interception.
We're
ratio.
kidding.
That's what I
He would
switched to
have
the
been
5
the
and 1.
worst quarterback in years.
Unreal bold prediction.
Hey, he did do that, and then I switched to the 5 and 1, and then he went 4 and 1. So hey,
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Matt. What's your prediction?
I'm gonna lighten up the mood a little bit because man, that was really sad by Ryan, and
I feel
I
like
get
the
all the
mood's-
points.
I feel like the mood's already light. I mean, I
It
feel like
was
it's
about to be.
I'm just
So,
bringing everybody down.
Here's the thing, RT. I don't disagree with all your points, but my bold prediction going into the season is that
Struggle
OU
with this.
football will lead the SEC in scoring. You heard it now. I think Seth Luttrell has been the best thing that's happened to this OU offense for Jackson Arnold, for this young, very talented group of wide receivers, that this team has the ability to put some just outrageous numbers on the SEC teams. So if everything goes according to plan, Jackson Arnold rises to what his expectation is, or even a little bit below it, I'll be okay with that. Then you could see this OU offense, who last year had 41 points a game, 5th in the country, can do the exact same thing against these SEC opponents with the right game plan. And if the talent all comes together, they have that type of talent offensively. Can it all come together? To Ryan's point, we haven't had that stability with all the new coaches, players, transfer portal. I think if it all comes together just right, this team has the ability to do it. So that's my bold prediction. OU leads the SEC in scoring, which is going to have to be probably about 40 plus points. I think LSU was around like 43 last year in the SEC.
Can I?
And
Sorry,
that
go
means
ahead, Mark.
and that means the defense will be terrible because we're going 8-4.
Yeah, this is what I was
according to
going to
Matt
ask.
Gann. Matt thinks
No, I
we're
think
going
there's going to be
8-4,
games. There's going to
and
be
we'll
games where it's gonna
score
be
the
shootouts.
most points in the SEC.
That is, no, I think there's just going to be a lot of shootouts.
100% indirect, but like
Sure.
that's difficult because what you just said was the Oklahoma team last week was 5th in the country, and that team won 10 games.
But here's the thing: we could also put up a bunch of points against the first 3 opponents. I think we could definitely route some teams, whether it's Tennessee, Ole Miss, or not Ole Miss, South Carolina. But some of these SEC schools, I think they're going to underestimate OU. And I think OU's got the ability to put a lot of points on them. And the defense is going to create turnovers. I just think there's going to be a chance. That's why it's my bold prediction.
Bold.
Lead it in scoring.
It's bold.
That's why it's bold, baby.
Points per game last year, Oklahoma 41.7, LSU at the top 43.3.
Dang, I'm so good, man.
So
come on.
there's already one
Two
team
different defenses.
in the SEC, and keep in mind Georgia was 5th with 39. So there's a couple of SEC teams with some powerful offenses. So keep that in mind. Also, I'm just not bought in on Carson Beck. That's a whole nother thing. Sorry.
Watch Ole Miss in that space.
Yes, Ole Miss as well. Okay, Pat, give me your bold prediction, bro.
Yeah, let's hear it, Pat. Come
My
on, Pat.
bold prediction for this season is Billy Bowman is a top 3 turnover player in the country, and our defense is the highest scoring defense in the SEC.
Ooh, we got 2. We got a double dip.
So like they
love
score,
it.
They
like they
score the most
score
points.
touchdowns.
They
Yeah,
score.
okay.
They cause the
Or
most
scoring defense.
like
To
they
the
cause the most
most
Pick
turnovers.
sixes, fumbles
Got it.
returned for a touchdown.
I love it.
Okay.
Safety.
Peyton Bowen,
I like
baby.
it a lot.
Safeties.
See, if you would have said, okay, that's not bad. Okay,
I
I feel you.
I really like it because we know the ball hawks that are in this OU secondary, and we've seen them with the ball in their hand, kind of what they can do and the vision they have. I mean, heck, a couple of them return kicks for that matter. So you know they have the vision to try to return it. If the pass rush can be any sort of deadly and cause some fumbles to get some scooping scores, that'd be a lot of fun as well. I agree though. I think it's a bold prediction. It is bold indeed.
Part of the deal with having so much depth is you can rotate guys. And I think between Billy Bowman and Robert Spears Jennings and Peyton Bowen, you're going to see a healthy bit of rotation. That doesn't mean it can't happen, but I think he's going to have to be healthy all year long for something like that to happen. You can't lose Billy for a game here and there like we have in the past.
Truth.
I love it. I love
Yep.
that one.
Ryan, Matt.
I think
already gone.
Matt went. I need to
Oh.
go. Yeah.
Yep.
I need
Go
to
ahead,
go.
Mark.
I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
So
Come on, come on.
mine is about a certain Oklahoma Sooner winning a certain positional award. And if you look at the top 10 of the Bolitnikoff Award odds, you'll see that there's an Oklahoma receiver there, Deion Burks, plus 1,800. Absolutely showed out in the spring game, faster than anyone on the field the moment he puts on the cleats. That's not who I'm going with. I'm going Nick Anderson, plus 6,000 odds, according to this On3 article I found. And I think we've all seen what he's capable of doing. The ball hits his hands and he gets the first down, or he gets the touchdown. He makes the highlight play. That's what Nick Anderson is, and that's what he can be for the offense. Jaden Gibson had the best rapport with Jackson Arnold because they were on the twos together last season. I think that Nick Anderson replaces that safety valve big guy option for him in the intermediate part of the field as well as the deep part of the field, like we've seen Nick take over in the past. I'm excited for, I mean, he's got so much potential, man. He's so big, he's so long, he's got so much strength, he's got so much fluidity for a guy his size. I think that if we're going bold predictions, plus 6,000 feels pretty good. I'm going to say Nick Anderson wins the Blitnikoff.
Love it.
That's fun to me.
That's bold.
That's a fun one to me.
That's bold.
Kinda crazy.
Is the last Bolitnikoff OU has Dede Westbrook?
yes.
That sounds correct.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I like that one. That one's fun. That one's fun because that could really happen. Save this clip.
The only way it doesn't
Save this
though,
clip
is
when it
like
doesn't.
he's not a big enough name yet around the country because he's a little younger. I could see
Well, when
just
Oklahoma
some bias
goes
there.
10-2 and he has the kind of year I just said.
Yeah,
And
but we also,
according to Matt,
we
leads
dealt with this
the
with Billy
SEC
Bowman.
in scoring.
We dealt with this with Billy Bowman last year, not winning his award that he should have won.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And not
I got
being
my-
preseason list he should be.
I got my eye on McMillan in Arizona. That dude, just watching him last year,
It destroyed us.
he's just I haven't seen anything like that like in the last couple of years. I don't think.
Best wide receiver.
So-
Speaking of 10-2, my bold prediction: Oklahoma is 10-2 against the spread this year. I think they cover in 10 out of the 12 games that they play in the regular season. Those two games that they don't cover, I think one of them is going to be Bama, and I think the other one might be a tough game against like Tennessee or Missouri. Those ones kind of stick out to me. I don't have the odds in front of me. Maybe Mark's trying to find them. I could only find
Mine
week
too.
1 odds. And I see the Temple line at already 42.5.
Jesus.
See, that's a tough one to cover.
No, I know that's a tough one to cover right there.
That's a really tough one to cover.
It is. But I just think the games that Oklahoma are going to play, especially when we get into SEC play, those lines are not going to be big. So if you win that game and you only win that game by a touchdown, you're probably covering because it's probably going to be, Mark's more educated than me, 3.5, 4.5 line or something like that. And touchdown wins you that bet. So 2.5 sometimes, field goal.
I think one of the highest, wasn't it like Texas? They had us like 7 or 8.
We were.
I want to
I
say.
thought we were double-digit dogs to Texas.
Oh, we might be double digit. I don't know. I
No?
thought we
I
were
don't think
closer.
so.
Okay.
I don't think so. That might have been an early look ahead line.
Okay. All right.
Last I saw it was like 6.5, but
Thank
maybe
you.
I'm making that up.
No.
No, I thought
I
it
don't
was right
know.
around
Dude,
there.
Regardless,
Hold on.
regardless,
10-2, Mason, this is fun because I think where you're going to get screwed the most is the first 3 games. So
sure, I get that. I get that for sure. And yeah, you're right. Those spreads will be quite quite monumental. They will be quite large.
Yeah,
But you win that first game, 56 to 10, you're covering 42.5 right there.
Yeah, I think if they give a lot to Houston and Tulane, and it's like a 30 to 40 point spread, then it becomes like, oh, they're gonna win by like 25, or something like that.
Mhm.
And then, but I like the thought around SEC and how everything's gonna be a little closer.
Yeah.
So
little bit closer. So even in the games that they're dogs, right? Like even if they go into a game and they're a big dog, I think they cover that. I think they'll be able to keep that game close and maybe even eke out a win, whatever it is. So yeah, that's my bold prediction. Let us know down below in the comments your bold prediction for the Oklahoma Sooners this season. We read every single one of your comments. Love to read those comments. Mark, did you have the lines or are we moving on?
Yeah, they're from May, so it's like a little old now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the biggest line in May, other than the 39.5, we were favored against Temple by, was Texas, and it was 8.5 at that time. Maybe I don't know where that's gone now that I'm thinking about it, but Alabama is only favored by 1.5 coming into Norman as of May. I think that sentiment around Alabama and Kalen DeBoer has gotten a little bit more positive since then. So I could see that line maybe be a little higher right now, but all of this is very future looking.
Yeah.
So to your point,
for
if
sure.
you even win the game against Bama, you're covering that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let us know down below in the comments. Okay, boys. We're on to our MVP of the week. MVP of the week time. Let's do our MVP of the week, round out the show. Go ahead, Ryan. Start us off. Who's your MVP?
Oh shit! I didn't know you were gonna start with me. I don't have one yet. You guys go.
Matt, give us your MVP. Matt.
Yeah, I think it's obvious. I gotta go to Bill B. This guy.
I thought you were gonna say your girlfriend. You had a great vacation with your girlfriend. Thought it'd be your girlfriend.
Yeah, not a
Crazy, not
chance.
shoving
I'm
your
going Bill
girlfriend.
B. OU football offensive line getting the 5-star today. Got to give it where credit is due. He just all the recruiting or the coordinators and staff have done a tremendous job recruiting players. Bill B just continues to get his index more and more with some of these guys. Bill B, my MVP.
Love it. Patrick, who's your MVP?
Yeah, I think my MVP is pretty obvious too. Tomorrow is a very special day, folks, because tomorrow you can go to Starbucks and get a pumpkin spice latte.
Oh,
And
God.
No way, really?
It's gonna be
so excited.
100 degrees in Dallas. And
No,
people are
it's gonna be
drinking
hot
pumpkin
as hell in
spice.
Tulsa, but I'm
Oh
gonna
my
do
God.
it.
Get the ice
I'm
one,
gonna
bro.
do it, bro.
So
Get them all.
stupid.
I'm gonna do it.
Very what?
Pat said, I think this is obvious.
What else did you say?
Pat
Is that
saying, I
just-
know it's been the talk of the
No,
town,
I'm
boys.
not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
No, you gotta say it, Pat.
Very
This is the-
demure.
Isn't
Very
this-
demure.
Isn't that
Very
the
pumpkin
TikTok
spice
trend?
latte.
Are you gonna wear scarves?
Yeah,
in,
what's
like
demure?
California and
What's
stuff?
that? What's the word from?
Dude, I
It's
have no idea.
TikTok.
It's from a
It's a
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah.
It's not the album. Okay.
Very, very
I'm out of
demure.
this.
Demure. Very.
It's about how you should a person saying how you should put makeup on at work. You don't have to go like over the top. Just be very cutesy, very demure, and blah 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 blah. And it just
And they
went
say
viral.
Demore is how you
Yeah.
pronounce that?
Demure.
I thought
That
it
has
was
never
demure.
been how
I
I
don't know.
said that.
Kinda
Yeah,
depends.
Ryan, I think you're right.
I think so.
I don't
I
know.
think you're right.
The
Dude.
more these
I don't
Watch
even
it.
know. I don't
Let
even
us
know what
know.
the hell the word means.
I
I
mean,
need to
you know
break out a dictionary.
I saw a tweet that like really kind of encapsulates internet culture for me, and it's the whole thing that's trending right now is oh my God, Charlie XCX and her new album or whatever.
Brat.
Everybody's like, Brat. Everything's Brat. It's a Brat summer. All that stuff. That album has 500,000 albums sold. It's literally nothing in the
No.
grand scheme of things, and it's
But
all
it's a-
people talk
it's a-
about.
It's a social media moment.
Yeah, it's all Fugazi. It's all
Fugazi.
it's
This is good for Drake fans, Mason. Let it be.
exactly.
Let it-
You're
let it
right.
be.
It
Let
is.
it be.
Oh my God. Okay, Pat, I like
think-
it. I'm getting a PSL tomorrow, bro. On-
Same
on
here.
God.
You kidding?
Are
First
you gonna
thing.
go out and spend $6 on your PSL and when
Yes.
it's 100
This is
degrees
crazy.
outside?
I am. You crotchety old man.
And it's
yeah,
August
I'm gonna do it.
22nd.
There
Yeah.
are cold ones. You can
I'm
get
gonna
a
do it.
cold
I'm gonna
brew
put a hoodie
pumpkin
on and I'm
spice
gonna
Guys,
like it.
Summer is like not even close to being over. This should not be a thing. Like
The big problem to me is the pumpkin spice lattes don't
It's
taste
weak.
good.
It's week
they're
0.
so sugary.
It's
They're
time.
gross.
They are very sugary. I will give you that.
I also don't really like pumpkin anything. I'm
So-
not sure why we eat pumpkin.
Starbucks
Pumpkin
does have
cider.
a pumpkin cream cold brew. It's quite good because it's just
Oh,
cold
now
brew,
Ryan's
and then they
moving
put the
goalposts
pumpkin cream
a
on the
little bit.
top, so it's like it's not sweet, you know. It doesn't
Yeah.
got like all the sweetness in it that the regular thing does, and then you got to pump down, like you got to get rid of some of the sugar pump things, you know.
Little pump down.
Little pump down.
Love a good pump down
Yeah.
with Ryan at Starbucks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love when he pumps his cold
Times.
cream. Okay,
Ryan never
times.
doesn't pump.
Good times. You guys know me
Mark,
so well.
Mark, who's your
Yeah.
MVP?
I'm gonna go my MVP, and you guys may have noticed if you're a longtime listener or a listener of the last 2 or 3 episodes that we just didn't do the cheetah or the D line previews. They're I mean, because we got the game next week, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so my MVPs are going to be those position groups. We're going to see a lot of guys at the cheetah position. I think it's going to be very based on situation. We're going to see a lot of Kendall Dolby. Hopefully, Desan McCullough is healthy. Sammy Masigo might get some reps there. That's great. D-line, look out for the freshmen, Jaden Jackson, David Stone, in addition to the obvious ones, Dominic Williams, Ethan Downs. Caden Woolard is going to play a big role this season, I think. You can expect a lot healthier rotation on the defensive line than I think we've seen in several seasons. I mean, you look back at some of the years, unfathomable starting lineups up front. So my MVP is Cheetah and D-line. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Freaking love it. Okay. Am I the last one?
No,
for
I got
MVP?
one. I'll go
Oh,
first.
go. Okay.
So my MVP is actually going to be the Apple TV show Pachinko, which I've talked about on this pod, I think 2 years ago, as one of my must watches.
I'm not sure
That's
you're allowed to say
um,
that.
Why am I not allowed to say that? Because I was going to say the season 2 kicks off on Friday. And okay. Can I go a movie route
Yes.
then? Am I allowed?
No, you're allowed to do
no,
Go with this.
I'll go. No, I'll go with my movie route then.
No, you're
Um,
allowed to do whatever you want.
I'm
It's
gonna
your
give
MVP.
my movie
Go with
or my
your
MVP
Oh.
to Alien Romulus, which I have not seen yet, but I have
Not nice. I hate this.
I have heard great things about, and I really like everyone that's in it, and I really like the director, and it made a lot of money this weekend, so MVP. Movie's back, baby.
Amazing.
Love it.
My LVP of the week is ESPN. ESPN fired Robert Griffin III. Don't really care, but they fired Sam Ponder off of NFL Live and replaced her with Mike Greenberg, who's doing another show for ESPN. And they continue to just pump Stephen A. Smith and Mike Greenberg into our TVs, and they're gonna say, "Shut up, you're gonna like it."
Pause?
It's pause completely. It's unbearable. I'm going to sound super old here, but I'm going to do it anyway. The ESPN that we grew up with and that people fell in love with is dead. It's dead. Sports Center is no longer Sports Center. Sports Center is more talking heads. It's a debate show again. And I don't need to see Mike Greenberg as much as ESPN is making me see Mike Greenberg. He is not that entertaining. I have a very hard time believing his ratings are that good that we need to keep seeing Mike Greenberg on everything. There's just no way that's possible. So my LVP is ESPN.
I
don't
love
really-
that.
don't
I've
really-
never really gotten the Mike Greenberg appeal.
Yeah.
And
don't
he
understand.
has, I think, every dude's dream job now is just
Mm-hmm.
like, come on here and talk some sports. And you don't even have to Stephen A. to Smith this thing. You can
Mm-hmm.
just be there.
And I just want everybody to think about it this way. Okay. They're feeding you Mike Greenberg because they're telling you this is what content is now. It's just talking heads, people debating, and Mike Greenberg's going to be the guy to lead it. And they're going to pump him and Stephen A. Smith into everything they possibly can. You know who they pay like those guys who doesn't do that stuff? Scott Van Pelt. Scott Van Pelt does his show nightly, and he says, that's all I'm going to do. And that's the way it should be. They're not force feeding us Scott Van Pelt like they force feed us the other guys because Scott Van Pelt won't do it.
Yeah, they do have to Monday Night Football. But yeah, other than that.
Yeah, they gave him Monday Night Football. You're right.
Yeah.
You're
They
right.
push you. They go directly there, but it's kind of the only time you have to go to SportsCenter otherwise for him.
Exactly.
Hey, Disney's been taking some L's recently, so
They have.
I think ESPN's just another L for them.
It's brutal. ESPN offered a $70 watch every game of your team Sunday ticket package, and the NFL turned it down.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
They would.
Like-
they would. They
It's-
10 times their base.
It's
Their
sh-
customer
it's just
base.
it's just shameless. It's just shameless, dude.
Of
They're
course they
trying
did.
to. Jerry
Did
Jones
you-
was quoted as saying or Robert Kraft was quoted as saying that they wanted to make it a premier subscription.
Did you see
Essentially.
how much trouble like Google got in last year with the whole YouTube TV thing and NFL package and all that stuff? And now
Yeah.
they're doing like no discounts or anything
Mhm.
because they just got in so much trouble with NFL.
Yeah.
Like it's stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. All right, that's going to do it. Episode 136 is in the book. Next week, we have a game preview show for the people. We're going to preview that Temple game. We're going to beat the hell out of Temple. And you. That chant is dumb as shit. And we will
Hey,
see you.
I actually
next
don't mind
week.
it.
I hate it. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's 290s.
Leave a comment on how you feel about that chant.
Yeah,
if you were
it's
still here
90s.
somehow.
Yeah, if you're still here and
If you're
listening
still
to
here.
We have like a
Grant.
listen through of 8 seconds.
Yeah, like it-
somehow think someone's here.
Like and subscribe on YouTube channel. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. Pat, that's going to do it. Take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.
There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.